What if you woke up tomorrow and every car in your city had vanished overnight? No traffic jams, no honking horns, just quiet streets waiting to be explored. This isn't just a daydream. It's becoming a reality in cities around the world. Let's explore what happens when urban centers decide to go car-free and why it might be the key to unlocking a better future for us all. Imagine stepping out onto streets once dominated by vehicles, now filled with people walking, cycling, and interacting. This transformation isn't just hypothetical, it's a growing global trend as cities tackle pollution, improve public health, and reclaim urban spaces for their residents. The stakes are high. On one side, we have the potential for cleaner air, safer streets, and more connected communities. On the other, we face the challenges of reimagining our entire urban infrastructure. As we examine real-world examples, you'll see how cities are navigating this complex transition and the surprising impacts it's having on urban life. As cities navigate this transition, a startling reality emerges. What if the very foundation of our urban design is fundamentally flawed? Consider this. In Manhattan, nearly a quarter of the land is dedicated to roads and parking, yet only 22% of households own a car. This massive allocation of space raises a critical question. Are our cities serving us, or are we serving them? The answer becomes clearer when we look at the impact of car-centric urban planning. Transportation is responsible for over 20% of global CO2 emissions, with personal vehicles contributing heavily to this figure. In Europe alone, around 10,000 people die prematurely each year due to pollution from diesel cars. These statistics paint a grim picture of the air we breathe in our urban centers. But pollution isn't the only price we pay for our car dependency. Safety concerns loom large in car-dominated cities. The concept of Vision Zero in Oslo aims to eliminate road fatalities, highlighting the urgent need to prioritize pedestrian and cyclist safety. This shift in focus has already yielded results, with a marked decline in car trips and increased safety for those on foot or bike. The impact of car-centric design extends beyond pollution and safety. Our urban spaces, meant to foster community, often do the opposite. Roads act as barriers rather than connectors, discouraging social interaction. Studies show that cities with more pedestrian zones see increased community engagement and improved public health. By reclaiming these spaces for people, we can revitalize our urban social fabric. The economic costs of maintaining extensive road infrastructure and the inefficiency of vast parking lots further underscore the need for change. Cities like Madrid and Paris have taken bold steps, implementing car restrictions that have led to significant improvements. Madrid, for instance, reported a 30% reduction in traffic on its busiest streets after introducing car restrictions. These issues, pollution, safety, community disengagement, and economic inefficiency, are not isolated problems. They're interconnected challenges stemming from a single source: car-centric urban planning. As we confront these realities, it becomes clear that reimagining our cities isn't just about removing cars. It's about creating spaces that prioritize human needs and experiences. As we search for ways to prioritize human needs in our cities, one unlikely pioneer emerges from the bustling streets of Colombia. Picture a major city where every Sunday, miles of main roads are completely free of cars. This isn't a futuristic concept. It's a weekly reality that's been unfolding for nearly half a century, reshaping an entire urban landscape. Welcome to Bogotá's Ciclovia, a revolutionary initiative that has been transforming the city's streets since 1974. Every Sunday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., over 75 miles of major roadways are closed to motorized traffic, creating a vast network of car-free spaces for residents to enjoy. This isn't just a small-scale experiment, it's a citywide phenomenon that attracts up to 1.7 million participants each week, roughly a quarter of Bogotá's population. But what happens when you remove cars from the equation? The streets come alive in ways you might not expect. Cyclists, joggers, and families on foot reclaim the space, turning it into a vibrant playground for physical activity and social interaction. The transformation is dramatic. Areas once dominated by traffic and noise pollution become impromptu stages for dance classes, pop-up markets, and community gatherings. This weekly metamorphosis has profound effects on the city's social fabric. As Bibiana Sarmiento, the director of Ciclovia, explains, "No one cares about the clothes you're wearing or what social class you're from. Everyone is welcome, and everyone is equal." The impact of Ciclovia extends far beyond its weekly time slot. By regularly repurposing streets for people instead of cars, Bogotá has shifted perspectives on urban space utilization. This change in mindset has influenced broader urban planning decisions, demonstrating how reclaiming streets can lead to a more connected community and a reimagined city landscape. Moreover, the health benefits are significant. With dedicated time and space for physical activity, Ciclovia encourages a more active lifestyle among residents. The initiative has been linked to increased physical activity levels, contributing to improved public health outcomes in the city. Perhaps most importantly, Ciclovia has become a global model for urban initiatives. Cities worldwide are now implementing similar programs, inspired by Bogotá's success in promoting active transportation and community engagement. This ripple effect showcases the power of a simple idea to catalyze change on an international scale. Bogotá's success story paved the way, but Oslo is shifting gears entirely. Imagine a bustling capital where cars become obsolete, replaced by a web of cyclists and pedestrians. It sounds like science fiction, but for Oslo, it's a fast-approaching reality. How will this ambitious drive reshape urban life as we know it? Oslo's journey towards carbon neutrality by 2030 is more than just a lofty goal. It's a comprehensive reimagining of urban space. This Nordic capital is implementing radical steps to break its car dependency, showcasing how quickly a city can transform when committed to a car-free vision. At the heart of Oslo's strategy is a dramatic restriction of vehicle access in the city center. The removal of 700 parking spots might seem like a recipe for chaos, but it's actually paving the way for a more people-friendly urban core. These spaces aren't simply disappearing. They're being repurposed into pedestrian walkways, effectively giving the streets back to the people. But Oslo isn't just taking cars away. It's providing alternatives. The city is heavily promoting cycling and public transport as viable replacements for private car usage. This shift in focus is yielding results. Trips made by car decreased from 35% of journeys in 2009 to 27% in 2018. It's a clear indication that when given attractive alternatives, people are willing to leave their cars behind. The impact of these changes extends beyond traffic patterns. Since the introduction of these car reduction measures, Oslo has seen a notable drop in air pollution levels. This improvement in air quality isn't just an environmental win, it's a significant boost to public health, demonstrating how urban planning decisions can directly affect the well-being of city dwellers. Oslo's transformation is guided by a clear philosophy. As Hannah Markussen, Oslo's vice mayor for urban development, explains, "Our main objective is to give the streets back to people. The street should be where you meet people, eat at outdoor restaurants, where kids play, and where art is exhibited." This vision of vibrant, people-centric streets is becoming a reality as cars make way for community spaces. Safety is another key focus of Oslo's car-free initiative. The city has adopted the Vision Zero philosophy, aiming for no fatalities or serious injuries from road traffic. This commitment to safety, coupled with the reduction in car usage, is creating a more secure environment for pedestrians and cyclists alike. Oslo's rapid transformation serves as a real-world example of how quickly a city can change when dedicated to a car-free vision. It demonstrates that with bold leadership and community buy-in, even a car-centric city can pivot towards a more sustainable, people-friendly future in a relatively short time. As cities worldwide grapple with car dependency, one metropolis is thinking inside the box, quite literally. Barcelona's urban planners have stumbled upon a deceptively simple solution that's transforming entire neighborhoods. But how can rearranging city blocks lead to cleaner air, safer streets, and more vibrant communities? Enter the concept of superblocks, Barcelona's innovative approach to urban redesign. These superblocks typically consist of 9 city blocks where vehicular traffic is significantly restricted, creating pedestrian-friendly zones that prioritize people over cars. Within these areas, streets are primarily reserved for pedestrians and cyclists, fostering a new kind of urban environment. The design principles behind superblocks are straightforward yet revolutionary. By limiting car access to the perimeter of these blocks, the interior streets are freed up for other uses. This simple rearrangement creates a cascade of positive effects. Green spaces flourish where parking spots once dominated. Community markets spring up in areas previously reserved for traffic. Playgrounds and recreational areas emerge, providing much-needed space for residents to interact and children to play safely. Barcelona's commitment to this urban transformation is evident in its implementation. Currently, 5 superblocks are operational, with plans for further expansion across the city. This isn't just a small-scale experiment. It's a citywide initiative aimed at fundamentally changing how urban spaces function. The impact of superblocks extends beyond aesthetic improvements. These areas have become hubs of community engagement, with open areas for people to gather and spaces for events. As one urban planner noted, superblocks are designed to promote community engagement. They have open areas for people to gather, markets to thrive, playgrounds for recreation, and spaces for events. This multifaceted approach to urban design is creating more livable, breathable, and socially connected neighborhoods. Moreover, the superblock model is inspiring similar initiatives in other European cities. Paris and Ghent, for example, are exploring comparable concepts to promote sustainable urban environments. This spread of ideas demonstrates the potential of Barcelona's approach to influence urban planning on a broader scale. As we've seen in Bogota, Oslo, and Barcelona, car-free initiatives can dramatically transform urban spaces. These cities have experienced cleaner air, stronger communities, and revitalized economies. However, the transition isn't without challenges. Comprehensive public transport solutions are crucial for success, ensuring residents have efficient alternatives to car travel. Imagine how these concepts could reshape your own city. Picture bustling streets filled with pedestrians and cyclists, where roads once dominated by cars now host community events and green spaces. The potential for healthier, more connected urban environments is within reach when we prioritize people over vehicles.